back.
We're back.
My name's Jamie McKenna, and to my left this week in Order of the Man on the panel, who's the best at predictions? It's my little brother Joe. How are you, boy?
Yes, Jake, I'm feeling fantastic because I got the grand final score nail on the head.
And to my right, coming in at 6-1 as he does each and every week, it's the baby brother of the pack, who we call Junior Boy. Junior Boy, how are you?
How good does it feel, boys?
The FlagPies! We're FlagPies. It was a pipe dream at the start of the season, but we've bloody gone and done it. We'll be chatting about the Pies season off the top. Bit of a brief summary about what it's like to be a Pies fan over in Perth. It's
pretty good at the moment.
Plus, we're also chatting about our trip to Melbourne. So we obviously went over for a couple of weeks and experienced a couple of good memories. Plus, we've got our predictions from the start of the season. We're dusting them off, and we're going to see how close we got, all before awarding this week's Everyday Hero to some massive fans. It's a massive ep. Let's get into it. Boys!
Bingo!
Are we all well?
We're winners!
I'm fucking hyped.
The FlagPies have only gone and done it, and we were there in the flesh.
And if you're wondering, what is this song? Don't worry, because you're going to hear it for the next hour. It isn't stopping.
This is our background sound for the next 60 minutes. Boys, what an absolute season it's been to be a Mighty Mags fan. Especially to be in there in the flesh, and obviously to be living in Perth when we're not over in Melbourne, absolutely celebrating the season that was.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest seasons. Even going into finals, it was just a great season all around. All like how close it was. Adelaide Crows missing out on finals by, a camera shot.
Yeah, a fake point.
Yeah, so it was just great to follow the whole season. And because I don't usually follow that much, like that closely. Like usually I'll, watch as many games as I can. But this year I made it a mission to watch every single game.
And you did.
Starting with the first game, obviously the Geelong game versus the old reigning premiers.
We sort of could smell the writing on the wall after that fixture. I vividly remember I went to finish work and you boys were coming over the first Friday night of the season.
Yes. Second game of the whole season.
And the first game ended with a tie.
And I was gonna put some money on the Pies to win the flag. And I thought, we're gonna lose to Geelong, and then the odds will go up. And then I'll put money on next week. But we beat Geelong. The odds went down, and they never got anywhere near as high as they were on opening night. And I wish I had poured the whole house into it, honestly.
I remember that night, Jake, you said you had a surprise for me and Joe when we were coming over.
I did. A couple of weeks beforehand, I decided that I'd seen the Darcy Moore bobblehead. And I know that you in particular are a massive Darcy Moore fan.
Yes, I am.
And so I bought the Darcy Moore bobblehead online and waited for it to get posted. And it got shipped to my house like the day before. Like it arrived on the Thursday. And we unboxed the Darcy Moore bobblehead. And it sat and watched every game of footy with us for the entire year.
Did you take it when you went over for
Anzac Day?
Game?
No, I actually bought a Nick Dacos bobblehead while I was at Anzac Day. And he obviously went on to win the Anzac Day medal.
Yes.
So there's something in these bobbleheads.
There really is.
There's a little bit going on in these bobbleheads. And ahead of the prelim final, before we left, I bought a Scott Pendlebury bobblehead. And I left that at Mum's place because we were obviously all going. Mum wasn't going, so the bobblehead sat on Mum's.
It needs to be a bobblehead watching.
So we took both bobbleheads. We took the Nick and the Darcy Moore bobblehead to Melbourne.
Yeah, that's right.
And I didn't even realise this. We got back after, obviously we won the big final. We got back to the hotel after a night of partying. We come back and who's sitting on the coffee table in the hotel faced at the TV with the TV on? The bobbleheads, the Nick and Darcy bobbleheads watching the game.
They were there from the start. They got to be there to the end.
That's like 100% it. We didn't want to bring them in because we knew that things might get a little bit crazy.
They'd lose their bubbleness.
You don't want to decapitated Darcy Moore.
No, it's not. That would be bad juju.
Yeah, that's not what you want. So we just left them. We just left them to watch the game alongside some winner's piss.
Yeah,
the winner's piss ceremony.
Did you invent that?
I've never seen anyone. To do it.
I'd never heard of this theory before. And then when I got to Melbourne, I missed the prelim. But when I got there, you guys were just talking about this winner's piss. Winner's piss. That's all I ever heard about. What is winner's piss?
I'd crack open. Obviously, I have a few beers before the game. And I wouldn't finish.
Yeah.
I wouldn't finish the last one. So like I'd drink half of the last beer.
Yeah.
and then just leave it out somewhere.
Next to the sink, usually.
Well, like wherever. But I was like, okay, I'm going to leave it here. The next time that I have a sip from this, it's winner's piss. When we come back, we would have won the game, and I'm going to drink this as like a ceremonial.
Yeah,
Job's not finished until like I'm not drinking this till we win. Do you know what I mean? And then we come back with one to winner's piss.
Yeah.
Did it in the prelim.
Worked a treat.
Worked a treat.
I've never. So we get back. Me, Jake Taylor, so hyped to watch this man drink a lukewarm,
Very warm.
room temperature.
But nah, it's good.
It's funny with. I'm not that like superstitious in general, but then like with sports stuff, you just kind of have to be.
You got to get into it.
Like even like the whole, if you're at home, you're watching the game, and if you're like, oh, I need to go like do something quickly. If you leave and the team starts doing well,
Stay out.
then it's like, well, I'm not watching the rest of the game. Obviously, because if I watch it, even like I don't like if there's a set shot. I often don't like. I like to turn away. I don't like to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even with the whole superstition thing, this season, the first game I missed was when I was in Japan.
Yeah. Guess what happened?
We lost.
Huge.
The next game I missed, I was at work.
Oh,
It was like the Monday game.
Yeah. Queen's birthday.
Brisbane.
Yeah, we lost.
Oh, Melbourne. All right.
Melbourne, yeah. So
The third game that he missed, he was at he was at my place.
Yeah.
We were shooting some stuff.
Yeah.
He left at half time.
We lost.
yeah,
Not only did we lose, Nick broke his leg.
Oh yeah, the Hawthorn.
I know, yeah, because I was
And
thinking,
he left at half time. You're like, yeah, I'm just going to shoot off, eh?
yeah, because I was like, it's Hawthorn. Nothing to worry. Nothing to worry.
Yeah,
I'll
we
break
got
the
this.
curse.
And then you said you broke his leg. So well done.
There you go.
Essentially, that means you can't miss a single second of footy.
No, that's why I needed to go over to watch in person.
Yeah, extra juju.
power.
Um,
Even Taylor, Jake's girlfriend, she's never seen Collingwood lose at the MCG.
She's never seen. Oh yeah, that's correct. Yep. I've only ever seen them lose once in person. Whether they've been out in Perth, or whether they've been.
Wait,
It was the Eagles in the
yeah, didn't we lose to Eagles in a final?
2018.
That's it.
And we lost to GWS.
I've only seen Collingwood lose twice.
Twice.
In person.
Yes.
Big games as well.
Massive.
Actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun to relive the GWS prelim as well, which we'll get into shortly. But it's been a bit of a hectic season. We obviously saw it hasn't been as Collingwood fans over the last couple of years. Been a bit of a bumpy ride. Like
Yeah, coach got fired.
but we're the best team. But it's also like we haven't won many games by a lot.
Oh no, yeah. If you stack up all the lines,
No, we're very conservative with the amount we're winning by. Last year we had more wins between like 1 and 6 than any team in history. This year I went over for Anzac Day. We're down by 28 points, I believe, at 3/4 time. I'm basically calling the season then and there. We come back in 30 minutes of footy, managed to kick 6-7 goals and win by a handful. And then we played West Coast here that we went to in person.
Yeah, that was a sure thing.
Well, we won by 70. We won by 70 points. But midway through the second quarter, we're sitting there going, "This could go either way. We might actually lose to 18th."
Yeah,
But
they love doing that.
Find a way just to
It's
kick
the brand of footy.
kick
It's
it up a
entertaining
notch.
to watch.
GWS was much the same. Come out strong first quarter.
Yep.
And second quarter, basically go, well, the cup's yours if you want it. Allow them to take quite a comprehensive lead, and then we have to chisel that shit back.
Jake was not having a good time in the second quarter.
That is by far the worst game. I'm on record. That's the worst game of footy I've had to endure. I didn't enjoy that game at all.
The prelim.
Yeah, that was not fun. I've rewatched it, and I don't know, it still makes me nervous rewatching the game. You know the result.
Yeah, but what if it's different on the tape?
But I don't know why. It just didn't fill me with much.
Yeah. So
I vowed that I was going to leave. Bobby Hill took a mark in the early stages of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And he marked the ball about 25 minutes out. And I said to Joe and Taylor at the time, I said, if he misses this, I'm walking home right now.
to Perth, not to the hotel.
He kicked the goal because that was also part of it. Like we'd bought flights, accommodation for the 2 weeks. We've obviously got the grand final ticket. If we lose the prelim, the entire plan that we've built since, I don't know, June,
out the window.
completely out the window.
Even we were at half time. So basically, for those who didn't watch the game, quarter time, we're up. Got a bit of a lead, but not enough really to how good we were playing. Second quarter, absolute choke fest. GWS comes back with a big lead, and we don't kick a goal.
Yeah.
So then at half time, we go to grab chips and drinks and stuff, and we're coming back, and because basically every fan there was a Collingwood fan. There was
That was wild as well. I've never been to a game where it has been so dominant, predominantly one
one
side.
Yeah.
I didn't see anyone wearing orange. Like, it's weird to watch. It felt like a 21st party that was themed Collingwood.
It was like
everyone was wearing
This
the same
room
shit.
right now is themed prelim, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
It would be like, you go to see the Harlem Globetrotters. It would be like trying to spot the Generals fans, which is the team that they were.
It was bizarre.
And so we're walking through, and everyone else seemed to be like really good spirits, even though like we were losing
down.
and stuff. And then,
But they hadn't invested. They'd invested a night of the footy. They've walked down from their house. We've flown over. We've got 2 weeks of accommodation
Booked.
ready to go.
it's a big investment.
And 4 grand final tickets. That, like, to be honest, if Brisbane and GWS get in, we're lucky to get rid of those tickets. No one's buying those.
Oh, that would have sucked.
Yes, but we got the win, 1 point.
Yeah, it was huge. A lot of onions getting cut up that night as well. That was
Tears.
That was a weird vibe. There was a lot of
That's all you need.
yeah. It wasn't as joyous. It was more of a relief factor.
Yeah.
But no, it was good nonetheless. I was going to say something about something, but I've completely blanked. Oh yeah, that's right. What I was going to mention is obviously with that amount of crowd being there, all on Collingwood's side, probably the most insane thing I've ever seen at a football ground. When the GWS Giants come out of the tunnel, they come out to their theme song. Couldn't fucking hear it. Not due to lack of audibles. Yeah. The Collingwood chant went up from 96,000 people in the building, and it drowned out the GWS song like nothing I've ever seen before.
Yeah, it's genuinely like a war chant.
It was wild.
Like in Lord of the Rings when there's like the one guy with the drum and then all the orcs like singing their little song and stuff.
Have never seen anything quite like it. The boys walking out for that prelim is the highest anticipation I've seen for anything ever. The look on their faces, the actual crowd, it was bizarre. If you could take me back to a moment for the entire trip, that would be the moment for mine. Don't worry about the actual flag. I think that moment there, I was like...
it's the most hype I've ever been.
There's footage, I think Joe or Taylor was filming at the time, and I was like, fuck, this is unreal. Whatever's going on at the moment, this is unreal. Darcy Moore walking out to lead the Pies as well after GWS have warmed up to a Collingwood chant from 96,000 people is pretty... it was pretty bizarre. We'll obviously get into a little bit more of a chat about the trip itself, but it's been an absolutely mammoth season. I'd love to say that we didn't predict it, but maybe we did. But we'll find out a little bit later on when we share our predictions from the 30th of March, which is actually like the day or thereabouts.
First game.
Yeah, when we actually kicked off the
7
season.
months ago.
And we'll be able to tell you exactly how close and how far off we were with a few of our predictions. Alrighty, this whole episode isn't just going to be purely Collingwood, despite the fact that the three of us couldn't be wearing more black and white unless we were nuns. So we are going to chat a little bit about the trip. If you're not a Collingwood fan, don't skip at this point because that's basically it. That's basically all you're going to get. There's going to be a few little jabs, no doubt, throughout. But it was quite an entertaining trip.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely like chock-a-block.
I didn't realise until probably the second last day that you and I, Joe, we went over for 12 days, which is actually a mammoth effort.
Yep.
To watch 2 games of footy.
For 2 games.
We watched 2 games of footy.
Technically 5 hours of entertainment.
Me and Taylor went over for Anzac Day. In 24 hours, you watched 2 games of footy. Mm-hmm. Being Anzac Day Eve and Anzac Day itself.
A lot of downtime.
And this was sat here.
A lot of downtime.
And you're getting a basically similar crowd numbers as well to those sorts of games. They're big ticketed events. But yeah, no, it was an interesting vibe. I really enjoyed my time. I haven't had time off in quite a while.
Yeah, you're on the grind set lately.
Yeah, so it was actually very refreshing to get some good sleep and not actually have to be hassled by anyone.
Yeah.
But do you want to have a quick yarn about exactly what went on when we first arrived at said hotel?
Yeah, so we get there and, obviously you just had your big flight, You haven't been able to recline or fly because apparently that's morally not good to do.
Joe almost got his head kicked in.
Shoes are on. Not recline.
Yeah, shoes are off, pants are down. Sitting in the... so basically we get there, obviously head over to actually this isn't really not really a funny thing, but I really like the Uber setup that they had. You walk outside, you get in an Uber at like a taxi rank, and then you're just off. You don't have to wait for some bloke.
Like the Uber's already sat there. Have you never been to Melbourne?
Yeah, we've been multiple times together. I never had that Uber situation.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, usually the limo will pick me up.
Big dog, big dog.
And then we get to the hotel, obviously. And the first thing we want to do after a big trip, we got there pretty late. First thing you want to do...
Have a big wank.
Yeah. You get the dial down and
You've seen all those naked feet on the plane. Like, it gets you all, gets you all juiced up.
Yeah, you've just been on a plane, so you've had to wait a couple of hours.
Just profusely sweating.
For a fix. You don't want to mess up your Uber rated, so you got to wait till the hotel. Anyway, we get to the hotel and they go, all right, head up to your room.
Steaming at this
I'm rock hard. I've been edging.
And we're back.
Just want to cushion the hotel room, you know. Anyway, so we get up there, open the door, and there's kind of a lovely woof. It says we're at...
No, don't. We're not naming the place.
No, we're at floor level 46 or something.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we were
insanely high.
No, it was
right?
high. We were in the 50s, were we?
Yeah, it was nuts.
55 off the first.
It's basically as high as the flight was.
yeah.
Just drop us here, bro.
Yeah.
Woo.
Anyway, open up, and then you know, like you go into a hotel, like it could have like a cool hotel scent, kind of like you know, it's just been cleaned or whatever.
Champion Ruby, they went with them.
Yeah, Winnie Blues, yeah.
What
Smell like
It was just fags, man. It was just absolute fags.
Yeah.
Can you say that these days?
I think in this context,
Okay, good,
but
yeah.
it's definitely like
It's a slang term.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
English people say that,
Yeah, I mean, I'm half English as well. So.
and we would never use it in another way. Yeah, so we walk in, it smells like you've gone into the smokers lounge.
Yeah.
And also...
And tiny. Versus the picture we were sold. Let's just use this room, for example. You get a wide fisheye camera.
I'm familiar.
It looks like you got an acreage. You walk in, you're gonna...
It's a 3x2.
You've accidentally stumbled upon the pisser and the fridge at the same time.
It's like they shot it with the 0.5 lens on the iPhone.
The 0.1 lens. Like, it looks like you're on the moon.
Yeah, and then it's like I was looking at the photos of the place that we booked, right? And
I was trying to find the angle. I was like, where have they
looking
taken this photo?
It's like I can see everything in the photo, but why does it look so odd in real life?
It's like they've taken a photo of the Lego set, and then not explain that it is a Lego set.
I genuinely think they had like they on one floor they have the same room except it's like twice as big. And everything's like to scale, but it like looks bigger. Anyway,
we went down, we complained quite profusely and quite immediately. And the bloke, he also handed us the world's biggest key. At most hotels now, you get a key that's a credit card. Right?
Yeah, obviously.
So it looks like a debit card. You just scan in, that gets you into the keys. Yep. This bloke handed me a literal key that would be like as big as my fingers, like from tip of my finger to tip of my thumb.
Nice.
Dick sized. And then alongside that was the world's grandest big wooden surfboard-esque thing.
Yeah, it's like bigger. From the olden days.
Way bigger?
Yeah.
So my dick sized.
Yeah. It was just like, mate, and he just handed you that. And I was like, we're going to need 2 keys. He goes, no, there is only one. So that's good. So if I want to go out, Joe and Taylor just can't.
And this fucked. This key, right? So it's a key attached to this giant piece of plastic, right?
Yep.
If you were to lose that, how much do you reckon replacement fee?
Oh, assuming they had another key, it'd be like $20.
Yeah, 200.
What?
200 for a key. But they haven't even got a replacement one.
Is it silver?
It's crazy. We walked down, we complained, and I was like, man, the room's actually, not only does it smell like real bad, like real bad, but also it's tiny versus the photo.
And as big as this room?
And he literally goes, yeah, they use like extra wide lenses.
They use a trick camera.
He told you that.
Yeah.
Like he was proud about it.
And then they gave me this
That's
like this wry smile. Not like, yeah, sorry,
we'll
do something about that. It was like, yeah, sucked in, dickhead. Like, I've been to a hotel before. I understand that they use wide-angled lenses, but like, at least take a photo of the right room, because this wasn't it.
Oh, really?
He gave us the key. He's like, oh, yeah, no worries. You can go into a new place. So we went into a new place. The second place was actually what the photo was of, and it didn't smell like...
It was much
didn't smell like Winnie Blues either.
It bigger?
Yeah, much bigger. Oh, you didn't get to see it. But anyway, yeah.
It was the same as the room that we... It was the same as the last one. Not to spoil it, but we move rooms again.
Yeah. We're going to get to that. And then, so we're in there for a couple of days. there's so many things. We could talk about this for an hour.
So
this place.
me and Taylor were still working for 2 days while we were there.
Yeah.
So we needed the Wi-Fi, right? So we checked the manual thing. You know the fucking
right,
rule. You know how hotels have like a rule book
Yeah.
with all their rules and such. So we go on there and we're looking for the Wi-Fi password. So they're like, all right, this is how you sign in. You click on the room and then you do your name. Classic hotel bullshit there. Yeah. and then you click on it, and then in the little rule book it says you get up to 1 gigabyte per day.
If you need more, $10, and then you get unlimited.
No, but it says you get 1 gigabyte a day, right? How much would you describe that? There's 3 of us there. Is a room for like 4 people. You get 1 gigabyte.
It lasts you what, an hour?
Yeah, it says in brackets. That's a lot.
That's so crazy.
That is a lot.
You couldn't even watch. I don't reckon you could get through a Netflix film on a gigabyte.
No, I downloaded an episode of Better Call Saul on the way over. It was like 600 megabytes.
Yeah, I hope you liked it.
That's half a day's work.
Can we all gather around your phone?
That's fucked.
So
why would they say that? It sounds like they're like being cheeky.
it sounds like that's something from like 2005.
Yeah.
And they're like explaining what a gigabyte is to someone.
It was bizarre.
Anyway, so after a while, the whole Wi-Fi thing not working.
Well, yeah, we're not getting Wi-Fi in our room. So for a period, we just didn't use it because I didn't realize that they weren't using it. But I was also fearful that, you know, if I wanted to watch maybe a quarter of football, we wouldn't be getting internet for the rest of the week. And then it dawned on us that, no, we're not using the Wi-Fi because we don't have access.
Yeah,
it's
it
not
doesn't
showing
come
up
up.
on
Yeah.
any device, whether it's the Apple TV, whether it's a phone, whether it's a computer. It's not appearing.
Test.
And so after like 2 or 3 days, we head back downstairs, knowing that we were going to be there for a few days more.
Mm-hmm.
And we complain and all sorts. We got them. We're not even. There's so many things. So by this point, we've also been promised. Well, we bought this place looking at like their additional features.
Amenities.
I remember asking you before you went. I was like, boys, what are you going to do when you're
So
over
there's
there?
a pool table, there's a table tennis table, there's a pool, there's a sauna, and there's a steam room.
Oh, plenty of time for fun.
Yeah, fantastic. That sounds elite. Then I went to look and I wandered down. The pool table has the world's biggest rip in the felt, which I've never actually seen on a table before.
Yeah.
But
it's
there's
cool to
still
see what's underneath that.
Yeah, it's just like cement underneath this felt. The one and only pool cue that you can use looks like if I grabbed a wooden broomstick from Bunnings and pegged it at a wall 1,000 times. Its thing has lost that little rubber groove that you can chalk up. Yeah,
It's just wood.
So now it is using like a piece of wood that is chipping with every shot that you play.
And the worst bit, no chalk.
It was absolutely fucked. The balls were all different sizes and shapes. Like
The white
ball was
fattest, the hardest thing I've ever seen in my life.
the white ball was like they'd chiseled down a stone. It wasn't like a ball. It
And
wasn't glossy. It was matte.
And it was so hard that it was so much thicker
Heavier,
than the other
yeah.
balls that you would hit it and the ball it hits just goes flying away.
You were fearful that it was going to shake. It was like using a bowling ball
Oh my God.
on a set of pool balls, and then we continued to walk down. And I was like, I like a sauna, especially on holidays. I don't have one at my house. I'm not Joey. And then so I walked down, and then there's a big sign on the sauna. Sauna's out of action, and I was like, oh, that's shit. But at least we've got the steam room. And then turned to like 180, same sign on the steam room.
And this reason why they said it was out of order,
Door
issues.
What the fuck's a door issue?
And the doors
They worked.
seem to be working fine.
They were fine. They opened, they closed. I don't understand.
Door issue.
Door issues.
So I started using the sauna, like because the buttons were
You
still
could still
working.
turn it on.
It wasn't a. It wasn't.
It kind of stank, but
Yeah, it wasn't
They
good.
always do.
But I've gone in there and I've cranked the sauna, and that sauna was working fine. Because initially we complained and said, "Well, you've sold us a hotel sponsored by Winfield Blues." And then we've moved rooms, and now we're running IONet that doesn't work, and now we'd like to have a sauna, but that doesn't work. So basically,
nothing was working.
anything we wanted to do, we just couldn't do.
Shocker.
So we tried to complain. Well, we did complain. Ended up getting a little bit taken off, but there was a real complaint about we might just be out. We might just fucking call time and leave. But essentially, yeah, we used the sauna, and then
It was fine.
did you notice the day after though? The
Oh,
signs.
they laminated the signs.
The signs in River Place, because I'd like scrunched the sign up
Because of the
fact that it-
moisture.
because the fact that it worked.
You
And then
scratched
the-
both of them up.
Yeah, and then the day
No. The
moisture
moisture ruined the paper.
because
Oh,
the
right.
'Cause of the
sauna
door
actually
issues.
because the sauna actually worked.
Was the sign on the inside or the outside?
No, on
of
the
door?
outside.
That's
It's still.
yeah,
Oh,
the
well, there you
door
go.
is
There's the
just
door
fucked.
issue.
Yeah, the
the
door
door
is
issue.
not working.
Well, the heat's just going out the door. That would be the issue.
Yeah, but the door,
That's
the
fine.
door, it was like a glass door and it didn't hit the edges properly.
Then
That's
it's
just
the
how it was
issue.
made.
It's a manufacturing issue.
It's
But
always
anyway,
like that.
we jogged on, and then that's right, we complained about the Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi's not working.
And so their solution was, what we'll do is we'll change rooms. You guys can go into a completely different room and the Wi-Fi will work in there, which sounded like an absolute fantastic idea.
And it worked.
And we went in there. We actually wanted to try see what it looked like. So we went in there. And yeah, the internet worked for all of 6 hours.
Yeah.
Before the entire hotel lost out on internet for the rest of our stay. So
I
we
went
didn't get-
down to I went down to check about my shorts because I left them in one of the many rooms that we stayed in. And while I was waiting in line, I was like, also I was about the Wi-Fi because now the Wi-Fi's not working again. And while I'm waiting in line, I hear the lady working there on the phone, and she's talking to, I assume, her manager or something based on what she was saying. And she was like, yeah, like, and this is like days after we had moved from the room that smelled like smoke. And she's like, yeah, what are we doing about like the smoke room? These people didn't want to either. So I think like every person who comes in,
They
they
just
just
try it
put them
out.
in the smoke room
It's like
and just see if someone can.
Well, they just want to see if people will complain.
Yeah.
We'll
They
just
do.
but that's a terrible first impression on
Yeah.
the place. Walk into it and it's just like heinous.
Yeah. And then she says, yeah, the Wi-Fi is down for the entire building. They're taking the reservations by writing them down in a book because their
Making me real
laptops
nervous.
don't even have.
But they moved us from a different room purely for the Wi-Fi. We got 6 hours out of it. Ah, well, we weren't there for the Wi-Fi. We changed hotels.
Lovely hotel.
A couple of
Lovely,
days later,
yeah,
and then
lovely.
Riley arrived.
Oh yeah.
That's when Riley arrived. So Joey and I were over there for the prelim and basically for the first week. And then we won the prelim. We're walking across the bridge. I give Riley a little buzz. Bit of g'day, how you going?
Yo.
Because you have a ticket as well. You had a ticket for the prelim.
Yes.
Yeah, he had a ticket for the prelim. We tried to sell it, but quite hard to sell
Yeah.
because, obviously it's Collingwood versus GWS. Basically everyone who wanted to go was there in the 90,000 Collingwood people.
Yeah.
So
It
quite
was-
hard to sell.
But
Also,
there was like I went on Tixel because we were trying to sell the thing on Tixel.
Of course.
Yeah. Yes.
A fantastic provider, Tixel.
and yeah, because
There was over 1,000 people waiting on the Tixel site, but unfortunately, because we'd bought a package ticket, you can't sell it because we've actually paid no money for the ticket. We've paid for the package.
yeah, and because Tixo has like scalper protection, you can only jack up the price by a certain amount.
Yeah, I think it's 10%.
and because it was 0,
You can't jack up.
you can only jack
Zero.
it up to 0.
Yeah.
And considering we actually paid a lot more than that in reality.
Yeah.
But because it was the package, Tixel couldn't work. But yeah,
But the biggest issue we were finding was like I was on that many Facebook pages, as was you, as was Mum, trying to sell this thing.
Couldn't get rid of it.
Scammers galore. Like it's just random people going, I've got 4 tickets, I've got 4 tickets, I've got 4 tickets. I even got 2 DMs from people. I'd shared, hey, we're selling a ticket to the prelim. Hit me up. I was getting messages from people going, hey man, you still after those tickets? I was like, man, I'm trying to sell the ticket. Don't want it.
Yeah.
It's at those times that I would have loved to have been able to use the Tixel service.
Yeah, and the most annoying thing was every single person who knew we were trying to sell them was like, use Tixel.
Oh, everyone
Use Tixel. Like, bro, just use Tixel.
Everyone loves Tixel. Absolutely everyone loves Tixel, including us. We're big fans of Tixel.
Tixel's the
But
best.
unfortunately, we couldn't use it on this occasion.
Yeah, I've never been more annoyed about hearing good advice.
Yeah, everyone's like, man, just use Tixel. Every person you messaged was just like, yeah, just use Tixel. If Tixel are wondering about their competitors, you got none.
yeah. No
Everyone just
Yeah.
wants to use Tixel. I don't know if you're aware.
Ticket Tag resell.
Yeah, no one was giving any other suggestions than Tixel. And then, yeah, as I mentioned, like we were on the way out of the stadium after the prelim.
Yep.
I'd spoken to Mum on the phone. She heard me sobbing like a little carry on. And then I called Riley and basically said, mate, get here.
You got to get here.
You got to get here. We can't allow a secondary ticket go to waste because we didn't even end up getting rid of the other one.
Yeah, I actually kind of rate though having a little spare buffer between
Yeah.
you and the people next to you.
You're
Classic
welcome.
Joey.
Couple $100 right there, Joey.
And then we called you and said, mate, get here.
And get here, I did.
Dun dun dun.
Booked the ticket the night before the prelim.
Which is insane because like
Cheeky bugger.
then you would have had to refund it if they lost.
Yeah. How much did you guys pay for your ticket over there, your flight?
Did it
use
on
the
points.
credit card
Qantas
points.
points, which you were told to use. I
said got a free
I
flight
said
on
you
it.
can use the Qantas points that I've accrued to come across.
So how much was it going to cost?
I don't know. Let's say it was $400.
Oh, must be nice.
Ballpark.
700 for this guy.
Yeah.
But I reckon that's because you did it at the worst part as well.
I did it before they won, so
Yeah, but then don't you have to pay extra because it was refundable?
yeah. But
Where if you waited until they've won.
then it would have bumped even more. It bumped by a few more hundred.
Did it?
Okay.
Yeah, it would have.
I
Did it
can
though?
check.
Did you check?
I just don't think
Well, it
it
wouldn't
did.
have gone down.
I think it would have. If it was West Coast, then it wouldn't have. It would have gone up. But if it's
Anyway,
Collingwood-
I guess we'll never know.
yeah, okay.
Fact.
I think that like if you were to graph what happened, if there's a
Worst moment to buy.
yeah, because it's like
Would have been in the second quarter.
like the height of it. Anyway, we don't have to get into it, but yeah, because the height, you'd pay an amount and then you pay the refundable. Whereas if you booked it like 2 hours later, you're just paying the amount without
Yeah.
the refundable.
But I did save some money.
Ooh,
Because when I fly, I like to fly fancy. I don't like this whole fucking, what do you call it? Povo. Economy.
Economy.
Economy povo. It's the same fucking word.
They
isn't
don't
it?
put that on the ticket.
I hate it. I legit hate flying economy.
They would sell so much more business class if they called it Povo class.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm trying to sugarcoat
Or
it.
if they extended the rows by an inch.
Yeah.
Give me some leg room, man. That's all I'm asking.
I like it. Snug.
No, it's fucked. It's so fucked. Anyway, so I hate flying Povo, right? But because I was already $750 down, I was like, gonna have to cop the Povo for this.
Yeah.
Because business class is like 3K.
As if that was ever on your agenda.
we had a geese.
Bullshit you did.
Well, I saw it scrolling through, right? No, I'll go with the Povo section. But there is this thing called Economy X sitting in the exit rows, which do supply double the amount of leg room.
Is it double?
Oh, fuck. It is huge. Especially some. One I sat in once was like quadruple. Like there was like a multiple, there was like meterage between me and the
Sure, you
next
went up the
person.
front. You weren't driving the thing.
No.
But I mean, there's a point where if you have twice the amount of legroom or if you have 3 times the amount, it doesn't matter because
It's just
they've
too much.
extended faster your legs.
Yeah, it's
go.
just nice.
Just in an aisle.
You can just walk around. Anyway. But
But where
then
do you put your the iPad thing?
you don't get that.
You can't watch. You're just staring into your space.
No, I think you get like I think you get something to flip up on your side,
yeah,
like a uni table. Anyway, but I was like, I don't want to spend another $100 on getting this thing, right? But an hour before my flight, I went on the website before I left to go to the flight. Went on the website and I was like, I'll just check if there's any available because I know they got to fill these exit seats in case of emergency. And
the
there
heroes.
was, so I got a free upgrade. Free upgrade, boys.
Free upgrade, nice.
Stretching my legs,
So basically, at this
kicking
point,
back.
you're up $100.
I'm up $100.
Yeah, okay.
Boy math.
Yeah, point.
Was elite. And then I sat next to these two old geezers.
Were you fearful that if it was going down, you'd,
Wait, how are they
you'd be
in-
the captain?
How
of
are these
the-
old people in the exit row? Don't
not
they
that
need to
old.
like
They're
lift
like-
people out? or
They're like
something?
60.
Yeah,
No, we just bang the door open and then we jump first. That's what we do.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's-
thought. Wait,
it's
that
chill.
means that's not even brave to be in those seats.
Well, it's kind of brave. Like you are the first responder, and I was on the window as well. So I'm literally the cunt who
You're the
opens
first
it.
to react.
I'm the
You're the
first
first
guy
one
who
getting
opens
out.
it, but I don't have to wait for anyone. You're just the guy who opens the door,
Right, so you're paying
and I
extra to
say,
get out.
"My lady," as I let someone go.
That's in the rules.
My lady.
That's in the instructions. You have to
And I
let at
slap
least
them on the butt as they go down the
you have to let at least one lady out ahead of you. That's the rule. And you have to
Gentleman's
say
Gets you $50 off the flight.
you have to say, my lady. They're panicking. There's kids dying. There's screaming. And you're just there going, my lady.
Yeah, first time flying alone. Scary. Didn't know if I was going down the right paths or anything, but
What do you mean?
we figured it out in the end.
Like to get on the right
like the
gag.
Well, yeah,
security
luckily
and
there was
stuff.
heaps of people in Collingwood stuff, so I was just following them. all the way to their hotel.
They were going to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good times. Got there safe and sound.
You did. You went straight over to Mackie D's.
Mickey D's, yeah. Got there, landed at 5 a.m. in Melbourne. Shocker of a flight as well, 11 till 5.
Glad you paid up. Glad you paid
Literally like the worst time you could fly. Because Melbourne's only like 3 hours from Perth. But I left at Perth at 11 and then got there at 5 a.m. And then you guys
just missed a whole night.
yeah. And then I got there and I was like, I'll wait for the boys to wake up. Go grab a Mickey D's feed. And then I got there.
I was awake and waiting for you to get
Yeah, I
there.
wanted to cop a Mickey D's feed. Anyway, so then I went to Mickey D's with like all my luggage and stuff, and I like had my pie stuff on. And then I just like went in, got my meal, sat, and there were these 2 people in there, and they like looked like they might reside on the
Were they in
streets.
Bovo? Oh, so they weren't in the business class.
No. This wasn't even. This is like Macca's in the CBD.
Yeah, I'm aware, but
Yeah.
they wouldn't have been able to afford
No,
business.
No, probably not.
Just checking.
Yeah.
What about the Povo? Would they have been able to?
I don't know. Depends what time. Depends on the bell curve.
Depends on when if the flight was as bad as on the rally.
They want it refundable or not?
Depends if he booked it before the prelim. Anyway, so I was in this Macca's.
Guess we'll never know.
And then I was like, all right, I'll order my food. Anyway, and then this guy kept fucking looking at me like the whole time I was eating and drinking my flat white with 1 sugar. He just kept looking at me, like giving me the eyes. And I like accidentally kept making eye contact with him. And he looked hell dodge.
Yeah.
And I was like, for fuck's sake, I don't want to get... Every time I look at someone, I get started on. So I'm just not going to look at this guy. But I kept making eye contact with him. And then 2 of his mates came in the building. But they weren't mates at this time. They were enemies. They were like... they were like fighting over the fact that they weren't giving each other money to like help them out on the street. They were like yelling at each other like, bro, I'm doing it tough out here. Like this and that. Like I need cash. And the other guy was like, yeah, me too, bro. Like they got their whole fucking livelihood on their backs. Anyway, they're just going at each other. And I was like, fuck, I'll just leave now. And there was like another chick that one of the guys was there with. But then the chick was just sitting to the side and these 3 guys were yelling at each other. And I was like, damn, they're ops. Like they're about to smash on. I'll get out. So I went off and stood in front of the hotel. Anyway, then I saw all 3 of these guys booking it down the street with the chick's handbag. So they fooled as fuck this chick over.
Oh, well, that's pretty grim.
I know, right? Yeah, and then we won the flag.
All right, so just ahead of the winning of the flag. So you got there on the Friday.
Yep.
Before the grand final, we did the big parade and everything. Joey got to see his man Mike Kazali in the flesh. Up there, Kazali.
Yes, Mike Brady.
Mike Brady.
Up there, Kazali. The greatest footy song ever.
And we've got good footage of Joe just going absolutely bunter at that.
Yes, of
so we'll be
course.
sure to share that. Part of a few marches. Joe, we were part of the Collingwood one. Joe was part of the no vote. So that was an interesting
No,
decision
that's
to
not
make.
true. That's fake
Very
news.
interesting decision to make. Probably time and place,
Not
Joe.
true.
Read the room. Anyway, so we involved in the Collingwood chant the day before the game. Actually, we were fortunate enough to go to the pub with a few of the boys from Perth as well, which was actually quite a nice little touch.
Lovely.
Yep.
And then we're at the game.
Yes, the big dance, as they
Yes.
call it.
We went to the march before as well, on the way to the game. That was sick.
There was how many thousand of people?
10.
10,000 people?
I don't know.
More than that.
I reckon more than that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
20?
way more than that.
Because even
Way
at the
more than
trainings,
10.
we went to 4, 5, 6 training sessions throughout the week. They were getting 15,000 people down at training.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
Which is wild.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely
It was
wild.
way more than that, like quadruple that.
20,000, 30,000,
It's not quadruple, but yeah.
30,000 people. But yeah, so that was wild. That was a march from AIA all the way to the MCG.
Yeah, the training centre to the big game.
That was crazy. And a lot of people who were joining us on that didn't have tickets to go in.
Yeah, sucks for them.
Yeah. Oh well. And then we're at the game.
Yes.
Kiss.
The big game kiss.
Wasn't excited to the point where I said to Joe probably 5 minutes before Kiss, we'll go grab some food and drinks when Kiss start
Mm-hmm.
because it'll be a little bit quieter down there and I don't really want to see Kiss.
Yep.
And my God, I didn't need to eat anything because I was too busy eating my words.
Oh,
Kiss.
yeah.
He was
Were-
rock and rolling all night.
Kiss were sensational. They were fantastic. I've never seen Kiss in the flesh. But they were good.
That was
Yeah,
Brought
they were
the
good.
fucking energy.
I know everyone was talking shit about him all
Me
week,
included.
and I was like, "What do you mean it's kiss?"
Yeah,
They'll be
but they were
decent.
good. I was expecting like a deceased version of Kiss.
Yeah, it was nuts. They had about 50 fire cannons.
They were doing everything they could to start a bushfire.
yeah, literally.
Absolutely wild scenes.
So nuts. And then they had about 1,000 kids run out.
Yeah, that was hectic.
They were running out, and I was like, is this just every kid that lives in Melbourne?
I thought one of them was going to die. I thought one of them was going to walk straight into an open flame because the flame protection, like it was a hot day in Melbourne, 29 degrees, and with every time that the flames went off, you could feel the wave of heat hit you.
Yeah.
You got Gene Simmons, who like looks closer to baked dinner than anyone, and he's just getting cooked. He's in metal. He literally looks like if you cooked chicken the night before and you went to eat it up, you put it in alfoil to keep the heat. He's wearing alfoil. Yeah. And he was just getting absolutely charred.
Yeah, but they were really good. He obviously smashed his guitar, which apparently was not on the broadcast.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Channel 7 missed it.
We saw it.
Idiots.
That
But he was
guy.
swinging his guitar around forever.
That director would get sacked.
Yeah, it was.
That is shocking for me.
was not
Swinging
good.
it like mad. The people in front of us, we're just going to quickly like steamroll
Rapid
through
fire, yep.
the actual event. We won't talk too much about the grand final
So you
itself.
can watch it on.
People in front of us, they'd obviously done what we had done in the sense that there was a package bought by 4 people.
Yep.
And then the people in front of us obviously been sold the package that was bought by 4 people because none of the 4 people in front of us knew each other.
Yeah, they were all solo dolo.
So we had a Pies fan, a Lions fan, a Pies fan, and then a Lions fan.
Boys.
Yeah, sure you just like switch seats.
It was very peculiar.
Yeah.
But none of them knew each other. None of them were really talking to each other.
No.
But the boys, geez, they were talking to us heaps. Which
Yeah,
seemed odd.
exactly. I don't know. It's like, it's almost like they were talking to us more because then it's like, you can talk to us because you got to turn around to talk to us.
But they never talk to each other?
Never.
Yeah, but you don't want to be talking to the fucking guy sitting next to you. It's a bit like, it's a bit too weird, but we're removed, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's less intimate. You don't have to keep a chat going on.
And also, they were pretty quiet at the start of the game, all of them. And then as the game went on,
As the beers got sunk.
absolutely hammered. At halftime, there was this one guy. How old? The guy who
In front of you.
you got a selfie with.
That was funny.
Yeah, this guy walked. Yeah.
60, 55, 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. 60.
50, 60.
That age.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So about at halftime, I noticed that he had got a text, and something like a bit of a nosy Josie.
And he was enjoying himself. For a man who's come to the footy by himself, that was not going to let him go by the you drink alone, you're a loser vibe. He was going to get hammered.
Oh yeah, and everyone sitting around was actually like great vibes. Even if
100%.
no matter what team they went for.
Great sports.
Him in particular, I think he was
hell nice.
He was a
yeah.
very lovely man.
And I love he got a text.
He was a Lions fan as well. So
at halftime, he was obviously pretty hammered at this point because I see on his phone he gets a text, and I was like, I was looking at his phone, I was a little curious. I was like, maybe someone's texting like, how's the game going or whatever. And he's gotten a text from some sort of a Thai restaurant or something like that. It's like, I think it had like it was like.
Wasn't a massage joint?
No, the name, it was something like Nacho Joe or something. It had some name like that, like a little.
Put your name in the title, I guess.
Yeah. And then he got a text, and the text was just a text from a restaurant telling him that now they now accept Apple Pay or something.
Okay.
Huge.
And he replied to the text, "Hey Joe, comma, like next line. I'm actually sorry. I'm. What did he say? He's like, sorry, I'm actually piss fart drunk now at the AFL Grand Final. And he just replied, just sent the text off to what is probably an auto generator. They're not. No
Part of me hopes it's not. I hope someone got that.
His buddy Nacho Joe letting him.
I hope someone got that response. That would have been one for the ages.
Yeah, that's like a classic. Like you're just hammered and you're like, I'm gonna reply to this auto generated thing.
But it does prove like what a lovely guy he was.
Yeah. If you want to share the,
I've never replied to an automated text.
He leaned back to me and said that he'd heard of the podcast before as well.
Bullshit.
Actually?
Yeah, and then he got a photo of me and then put on.
Yeah, I saw him.
Oh, wait, he heard of the
There you go,
podcast.
right?
I thought he
Yeah.
said it because that kid walked past and.
Yeah, someone said, like, some guy walked past and recognised us. And then he leaned back and was like,
How
"What's
old
your
was he?
podcast?"
How old was the guy? I didn't see any of this.
He was like 20.
20,
And then
yeah.
this guy would lean back and was like, "You got a podcast?" Like, probably like a quarter later as well. It was a long time later. And then he was like, "What is it?" And I was like, "MacPack." He's like, "I've heard of that." I was like, "Bullshit."
He's probably heard of the
Fucking
our
bullshit.
major
brand.
competitor. No,
Oh,
don't
yeah,
name them.
sorry.
It's a major competitor, like McDonald's. They all share a very similar sounding.
Yeah, no, he was a late guy. And then one of my favourite things about him was he was a diehard Brisbane supporter, but he stayed until the end after Collingwood got presented all their medals as well.
Yeah.
He stayed after the ceremony and everything.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And then dapped us up. I
Which
don't know if
kinda-
he was just trying to find consciousness or what.
Yeah.
Which
He was
kinda-
there a long time.
It does show that he just wanted to come for the
Big game.
whole experience.
The dude in
Whether
front of us
win,
was
lose,
a
or
Pies
draw.
fan.
Oh, he was aggressive.
And he obviously, like, he's come by himself. And the final siren went, and he went, I got no one to celebrate with but the MacPack boys. So he just like threw himself into a hug.
Cuddles.
It was fucking hectic.
It was so funny. There was a guy behind us, a Brisbane supporter, and he was very vocal, saying some,
He was hammered. He was hammered before he sat down.
and he was saying some rude things about players and their kids and everything, right? And then, but all of us were just like, let him play. Like,
He was pretty funny.
He was, and he was with his
Have a
mates who were
laugh.
Collingwood fans. Like,
Yeah,
it wasn't like he had a fucking sniper.
no
attack
need to
going on.
like turn around and be like, shut up, mate, don't say that about
Nah.
Nick Dacos or whatever. And then, but then this guy turned around at one point after we kicked a goal.
Oh, that
and then
was so
ducked us
funny.
up and then looked back behind us and was like, fuck you.
Yeah, he had a crack
Up
at.
you, you wanker.
had
And I
a
was like,
crack at a
whoa,
bloke.
no, we're all friends here, bro.
And that guy had big arms. I would not be. And the guy in front of us did not.
yeah.
Although he was punching Riley in the stomach.
Yeah, he did hit me a few times.
I did think there was going to be a proper like punch on across our row, like our row. I don't know who we were
Yeah.
teaming up with. Big
I
arms.
probably would have gone the Brisbane guy.
Yeah, even
I'd back him in.
there was one time where there was one time where the
On the winning
Pies
side.
guy sitting in front of us. It was like a real turning point in the game where we had just kicked a goal.
Yeah.
And I saw he was kind of up the stairs, and I was like, right, like, oh, make sure we like dap him up because he's just coming back from his season. It's been like a big moment.
Okay.
And you know, like when you high five someone, you're like, ooh, easy, buddy. That's a bit much. We did like one of the like, you know, like the bro dap up.
Yeah.
And he was really like, you're sort of like pulling you as well.
Oh, right. He wanted the chest bump.
Yeah, you know when
He
you like
was
pull him in
yanking.
for a hug, but
Yeah.
then we're going over the Brisbane guy because he's walking to his seat.
Oh, right.
So he's over this guy, like, damn. I was like, bro,
Squeezing
like,
the
just
Brisbane guy in
calm
between.
down,
An
buddy.
Eiffel Tower over the Brisbane boy.
But no, great. I'm glad that we had those people around because that's like what I remember.
My favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite.
That's a good point. We won't forget those.
My favorite young man. I spotted him toward the end of the game. The steel side bottom goal.
Oh yeah,
And
What a moment.
I had my little digi camera, and I was like doing like a zoom in on Steele, and he kicked it, and I was like watching through my camera, and then Steele kicked it, and I spun the camera around to get like an audience reaction.
yeah.
And I just locked onto this little kid who looked me dead in the lens, and was just screaming his soul out, and I was like, "Fuck, that kid's sick."
Again, he was by
Legend.
himself as well. He didn't
By
have,
himself,
he
he was
didn't
like
have anyone.
14, and then I forgot about him until we won, and then I turned around to see him again, and his face, pink red, crying with multiple tears like flying down his cheeks. I went and gave him a big old hug.
Nah, it was beautiful.
Fantastic.
Just quickly on the game, obviously the greatest final. Yeah, just going. I'd
Yeah,
say
it was
like
pretty sick.
despite the result, it was so back and forth the entire fixture. I think we finished with 18 behinds as well. So
Yeah.
like it very easily could have been the sort of match that goes down in history as like Collingwood have just fucked it
Yeah.
in front of goals. But I must admit, like the moment Charlie Cameron kicked that goal in the fourth quarter that put them ahead
Yep.
for the first time with about
5 minutes to
6
go.
minutes left in the game. Part of me thought that might very well be it. It had
Yeah,
very
I thought that.
had very similar the matchup between Braden Maynard and Charlie in that forward pocket. Looked eerily similar. I'd love to see a side by side comparison of the 2018 contest that he had.
It's like the shove off, and Braden just had nothing left in him to go.
Yeah, so in 2018 he was next to Rioli. Rioli's blocked him. And it
Clear block.
was Liam Ryan. Liam Ryan blocked him. And she took the mark. And then we all know what happened after that.
Yeah.
This was
Even-
eerily similar. Like Braden was stuck in the pocket, one-on-one with Charlie Cameron, and Charlie just turned on the Jets and kicked an absolutely ripping goal.
Yeah,
I
the way-
turned to both of you at that point, and I remember vividly saying, I just hope you've enjoyed the game because it's been one of the best grand finals despite the result. But there was a real lull over the entire crowd, and in front there was 100,000 people. How do you say it? 100,024 people.
Yeah, Brian Taylor called it
1,000.
24.
Yeah, off the mark marginally.
My God.
Bristol,
Oh, he said that.
biggest day of
On
the
the
year.
national broadcast.
1,000 people in. Very loud, aren't they? They're very loud. But yeah, it was absolutely unreal. But there was a real lull that went over the crowd.
Yeah.
And I think even hearing post game now, there's been interviews with players. The players felt it as well. Tom Mitchell thought the game was done.
Yeah, because when Charlie Cameron kicked that goal, he also celebrated like a guy who had just
Won the flag.
like he had the energy of like we're gonna fucking do this, and I was like, oh my god,
it had,
Because it was like goal of the game. That was an amazing goal.
and the ceremony itself, like the carry on is like that's the footage that we're gonna see.
Like the
for the rest of our lives.
like the dumb shade to the crowd.
Yeah, and it was just Charlie Cameron doing like the goose step in the goal square
Yeah.
and just running amok. What a moment. Mason Cox. I just want to say that next stoppage, this is getting a little bit technical.
Yep.
That next stoppage, we get a 6-6-6 rule. So we get a warning for having people
many
not
people.
in the places that they need to be.
Mhm.
That rule came into effect like 5 years ago. There's no warning for any other rule in the game. We need
Yeah,
to get rid
strange.
of the ruling. We just need to get rid of the, oh yeah, you get a warning if you're just in the wrong spot. You don't get a warning if you're running,
Or you punch someone in the head.
or if you're running off the mark. Now it's just like you got to stand, which I still think is the worst rule in the game. Holding the ball, it's not a warning. There's no other rule in the game where you get a warning. Anyway, we get a warning, and it means the umpire cannot bounce the ball. He has to throw it up.
Even that is why. Why is that?
But that played so much into Mason Cox because we then get control over where the ball can't go on right angles. We get a 50-50 tip. Mason's taller, been winning a lot of ruck contests throughout the day. Wins that tap.
Was that deliberate?
Well, apparently not.
Scott said it wasn't.
I listened to Scott say, at the time I said to Joe, I said, I reckon that was a little bit. I reckon we wanted just to stabilise, get a 50-50 ball up. Mason will win it and we'll get a clearance. And then exactly that happened. Scott said post-game, that wasn't the plan, but it worked out extraordinarily well, and that would be a tactic moving forward.
Yeah.
Because you can exploit that rule.
Mm.
That tap was terrible. Like he might have got his hand to it first, but it wasn't like an elite tap.
Yeah.
Goes to Nick with a handball, blind handball to Pendlebury up the ground to, who was it?
Jordan.
Was
No,
it
it
Nick
wasn't
again?
Jordan.
No, it was Nick.
It's Nick again, was it?
Yeah, and then Nick hands
Ball
to
comes
Jordan in
forward.
the air.
Nick gets it. Nick with a blind handball, which will live in history as the greatest handball of all
Yeah,
time.
because he jumped, caught it, and handballed.
He alley-ooped the
He
handball.
didn't even
Yeah.
hear, like, it would have just been hearing Jordan say, I'm here.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he heard him.
And then Geordie's just dobbed one in, running right angles from 50 out, and just fucking absolutely slotted it probably within 30 seconds of the Charlie Cameron goal.
Within
that moment,
15.
moment in the crowd, never felt anything quite like it. Never felt
basically.
anything quite like it. I felt like I was going to fucking pass out. I genuinely thought I was going to pass out.
Yeah.
Me, Joe, and Taylor mentioned it after the game. We all felt the same way. It was like something had shifted in the universe. We all stood up.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a rush of blood to the head or what had happened, but something like went in that moment. And then my favourite goal of the game, as you mentioned, the Steel side bottom goal. You can see it on the MacPack TikTok if you haven't already. That's our view. Steel is one of my favourite players. Has been since 2010. Very harsh on the man, but I think he's an absolute jet.
Yeah. You are very harsh on him.
And for him to kick the sealer, yeah, you could think of no one better to absolutely just moose one from 50.
Will
out.
Hoskinelli would have been elite.
Yeah, Joe's a big Will Hoskinelli fan. But yeah, absolute scenes. We then continued to party on. Swan Street was absolutely fuck-eyed. I don't even remember what went on. A lot of street drinking going on in Swan Street.
Is that, are they allowed to do that over there?
Yeah, I remember we were walking down the street in Swan Street after the Pies won the grand final. And when we were walking, walking past all these pubs. All the pubs, lines out the door, all the way down the street. There was no way you were getting into any of these pubs. And then we walked past the Bottle-O, and there was a line outside the Bottle-O, which I've never seen.
Yeah.
And then these people were just grabbing slabs, taking them right outside the Bottle-O, just cracking them open.
Yeah, that was my favourite moment.
And the cops were just walking past, doing absolutely nothing.
I don't know if it's like legal or if it's like grand final days, kind of like
There are no rules.
turn
Like a
a
purge.
blind eye.
Yeah.
Must be.
Yeah,
It was
because I was also
absolutely-
like looting as well.
Yeah, that was so sick.
Yeah, it was absolutely unreal. And then we went to AIA. They did the big ceremony. Brian Taylor hosting it as well. Like,
Yeah, legend.
you know, you've got mad sway in the competition when you get arguably the biggest and best commentator
Yeah,
going,
we're the biggest. Not sure about-
doing that,
Not sure about the best.
doing that sort of stuff at the very end of the day. But yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic day. Probably one of my favourites to date in life.
Yeah, no, it was
But yeah,
fucking sick.
it was absolutely unreal. And to be there, to actually have seen the plan come to fruition, a lot of the listeners at home would have seen. When we bought the tickets, we made mention to it. When we were losing a handful of games, we made mention to it. And then the trepidation we had about leaving, a little bit of nervous energy.
Very nervous.
You live that as well. And now you're obviously living the success via us of the 2023 FlagPies. Alrighty, boys. Episode 130 of the MacPack podcast. So quite a few weeks ago now, as we do each and every year, we give a few rough predictions about the AFL season landscape. Usually, who we think is going to win the Rising Star medal, which goes to the youngest player in the comp.
The best youngest player, not just the youngest player.
Just the youngest dude. The best youngest player in the competition. There's obviously little brackets that you've got to fall into, game categories, age categories, all that sort of shit. We don't tend to worry about that. Then we obviously have the Brownlow medal, which goes to
The MVP.
in theory, the most valuable, the most valuable player,
According to the umpire.
in the season. Based on the four blokes who wear highlighter shirts. I think they're really important.
And weigh a combination of 150 kilos.
And we also do our, what do we call it?
Best team, worst team.
Best team and worst team. Now, I've listened to these back. Some very interesting answers. I'm going to ask you both just quickly before we do. We're going to kick things off with the Rising Star. I just want to know can you tell me who you think he went?
Yeah. So I think I would have either done, I think the only new player I would have heard of would have been Sheasel. So I would have gone with Corey Water.
Okay. Fair. Do you remember who you
was
said?
it Sheasel won, right?
What? Wait.
Oh. First year players that I know of. None. Corey Warner.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we obviously know.
You both
We
reckon
only know Corey.
You both think you went Corey Warner.
I
Can
think
you
I
tell me
only
who
know
won
Corey.
it?
Corey!
Sheasel.
Sheasel did win it.
Corey won the sample, didn't he?
Yeah, Corey was.
Because I thought I got confused. I thought that's what this was.
What did Corey win?
Corey won the best VFL, basically the Brownlow medal for the VFL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Give him more games.
Yeah. Well, what you're about to hear is our our predictions for the season. Now, as you probably already noticed, over the next couple of minutes, as it was at the time, a lot of Warner chat. So we'll just quickly jump into what it sounded like. We'll leave the mics on so you can hear us carry on with some commentary. But this is what we said when it came to picking the 2023 Rising Star at the beginning of the season.
Let's see how we go.
Okay.
Okay. Rising Star first.
Riley, kick it off. Rising Star.
Harry Sheasel.
What do you like about him?
His last name.
Why?
And the way he plays football.
What position does he play?
That is about as far as my knowledge.
Okay,
The football.
nice.
I
Who's
literally
he play for?
Couldn't tell you. Just scroll through the old sports bet, and his name popped out to me. I like Sheasel, so I like Sheasel.
There you go.
I got Corey Warner.
Corey Warner.
That's right.
Brother of Chadwick.
Brother of Chad. Used to play in Riley's basketball team. Paying.
Oh, he did too.
Me
Yeah.
and Corey
fuck.
are boys.
Paying 151.
Get on him.
Honestly, last time I saw him, he was 8 and about this tall. So I don't know how good he's going to go if he's still like that, but hopefully he's not.
Yeah, no. I hope he debuts. It's probably a more realistic.
Yep. Hope he puts out his debut.
Tough to crack
No,
it.
he made music.
Tough to crack it in the Sydney lineup at the moment. They've got a lot of young guns. Corey's definitely one of them. I'm going to lock in Mr. Ashcroft.
Oh, how could I forget?
Gainer.
Who?
Is that right?
No.
Oh, it's a good first name. Oh, is his first name Ash and his last name Croft?
No.
Cameron.
Keep
Cameron
singing.
Bancroft.
Cameron Ashcroft.
Will?
Oh, Will.
Will?
Brother of Cameron
Will,
Bancroft.
Will what?
No, not Bancroft. Ashcroft.
Oh, shit. What's the difference?
What's his name? What team does he
Is
play
B
for?
his middle name?
No, he plays for Brisbane Lions.
Oh, that's
Right, the Lions.
Father, son. He's a Jet. He's going to die.
son of Cameron, who plays for the cricket team. There must have been a new rule, father-son, in
Yeah,
between.
if you
Australian
play for
sports.
then you get in.
Good.
So the whole
Here we go.
Corey playing with his brother thing.
Yeah. Imagine us playing footy together.
We would get killed.
Especially by Corey and Sheasel and Cameron Bancroft.
So just if you want education,
we're good.
if you want education around footy, come here. This is footy. We're gonna be hosting 360 next
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
How did Cameron Bancroft go in
Do
the
you know who
votes?
Cameron Bancroft
How
is?
did he go?
Will Ashcroft actually was favourite to win until he did his ACL.
Oh,
He kicked goal of the year.
Oh, that guy.
Imagine if we
Oh.
tried to predict goal of the year next year.
Yeah.
Just got nothing to go off.
Cameron Bancroft.
I mentioned in that Corey. Well, you both obviously said Corey. Or you said Corey Warner.
Yeah.
I got it right. Ding ding.
Yeah, you got
bitch.
Sheezel right. Who does that Harry Sheezel play for?
North Melbourne.
Yeah, good. Okay, so he's learned a little bit. I mentioned Corey Warner. I said it would be really good if he just got a debut,
Yeah.
and he did.
He did, yeah, I know.
He got to debut. He played 3 games. Round 5, round 11, and round 18. It's
Oh,
fantastic.
good spread as well.
So-
Like to
yeah.
come back in the team that
Yeah.
frequently.
No, it was fantastic. And yeah, as you mentioned, he won the VFL MVP award. I imagine we'll be seeing a lot more Corey Warner. And excitingly, he'll fit the age category and he'll fit the minimum games played category. So he is available to bet on to win the 2024
Brownlow.
Rising
He's gonna win it.
Star Award next year. So keep eyes. I imagine you'll probably back him yet again.
Yeah.
Second one. It's obviously the Brownlow medal. Joe, can you remember who you picked?
Chad Warner.
Okay, and Riley,
Which is Corey's brother.
can you remember who you picked?
Harry Sheezel.
You're doubling down.
I don't know. I feel like
Has
it's a
anyone ever
Riley
done
thing
that,
to
or is
do.
Hey,
Has
It's-
anyone ever done that?
It's either Sheezel or Cameron Bancroft.
you're not
Gotta be
gonna.
the one I'd
Okay,
do.
we'll just.
Cameron Bancroft, isn't he?
He plays cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was part of like the sandpaper gate.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. More,
He's a tricky guy.
more sports knowledge. This is our prediction.
Who'd you pick? Nick.
Well, I want you to listen closely, especially to the last words that are uttered on this. All right. This is our predictions of the 2023 Brownlow medal. Brownlow medal.
The Brownlow.
Joe, can you kick it off this
We're
time?
going Corey Warner.
Gozzo! He's going to debut.
And I am going to be cleaning up the money.
Should we see if he's on? I don't think.
Surely not.
Corey's going to debut.
Debut in 3 votes in round 1.
He's not on the list.
All right, I'm going to
He's not
go.
on. His
Dust-
brother Chad is on the list if you want to.
Keep it in the family.
No. he's
No,
not.
I'm going to go Dusty.
Did you
Moore.
just scoff? He's paying $34,
Moore.
Chad.
Chad was
That's not bad.
Chad was
Chad-
by far the best on ground.
100%.
At
Chad was the
grand
best
final
player
last
in
year.
at the grand final by distance. It's a shame that their team lost by 100 points, but
Yeah, he did do well.
he did fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
That's Chad Warner. my boys from Perth.
Oh, yeah. They just live down the road.
No,
I think they live in
currently.
Sydney. At the moment.
long commute.
Lukey Jackson. Back him in, boys. They
For
backed him
the
in last year.
Brownlow.
And you had the exact same reaction last year.
For the Brownlow.
Watch this space, Jack. He's got a new team.
He is
He's
playing
going
in
to
a
come
team
out
where
swinging down at Fremantle playing in
Do you
the
reckon he's on?
forward
I don't think you can bet on him, to be honest.
just saying.
I'm gonna lock in Chad. Chad's gonna win it.
All right,
Chad's winning
that
Chad's
whole
win-
time, and you copied my vote.
Chad's winning the Brownlow. Chad's
Alright.
winning the Brownlow.
Premier.
Oh, Nick Dacos a chance.
Ooh.
Nick Dacos
Ooh.
a chance.
Nick Dacos was a chance.
Flirted with the Nick Dacos is a chance. I would have won
Damn.
just for those playing along at home. I had after that. I put quite a bit of coin on Nick Dacos to win the Brownlow. If he had have won, which I still think he was absolutely robbed, and if anyone wants to argue that, feel free to slide into my DMs. Would have won $2,000 on Nick Dacos.
Yeah,
if
but the
he had-
injury. Same with your rising star injured.
Yeah, but my issue was more so that Lockie Neal was getting votes for games that he.
Wasn't playing.
Well, I could have played better fixtures than him. And Nick Dacos in the game against West Coast, which we mentioned earlier,
yeah,
had
that one was just
had like
absolute bullshit.
40 touches, kicked 3 goals, doesn't get 3 votes. West Coast lose by 70 points. Dom Sheed gets. Was it Dom Sheed? Yeah, Dom Sheed got 3 votes.
Robbery.
Give me a red hot spell. Anything to take away from that one? Other than
Just the Warners. We're bullish on the Warners. We're bearish.
you keep saying we.
You voted for him.
Yeah, I thought Chad was going to do more this year.
Yeah, to be honest, halfway through the season, I really turned on Sydney. I used to be a bit of a Sydney nuffy, but now I hate them. I actually
right.
hate them.
Sydney
They were
did-
mean to Nick that one game, and I
Oh, true.
Bored my blood.
Yeah.
That's fair. No, that's completely fair.
and they didn't even make finals.
And Luke Jackson.
Chad was mean to Nick as well. He rubbed him on the head.
Yeah,
Gave him a
Corey would
noogie.
never
Yeah,
do
Corey
that.
would.
And if he did, I still back him in. He's my boy.
And you've gone Luke Jackson back-to-back years for the Brownlow medal by all reports.
To watch this space.
Has
that gonna
Ruckman
go-
ever won?
Ruckman won, I think, a very long time ago. Jim Steins was a Ruckman who won a Brownlow medal. There's your little bit of factoids.
Yeah.
Lastly, this one is worst and best for 2023, which is your wooden spoon and your premier for 2023. Again, listen very closely. Listen particularly closely to me at the end. Because there was some mad dog, some absolute mad dog stuff going on.
Premier North Melbourne.
Premier North Melbourne.
North Melbourne. Yep. Fucking year.
So yeah, they got Cheezel.
Up the Ruiz. Worst team, I'm going to say GWS.
All right. Riley.
Flag mantle or flag pies.
That's good.
For wins?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's bad, Jake.
North Melbourne's pretty bad.
North Melbourne bottom. Yeah, we'll go there.
Joe's got him for the flag.
Yeah, we cover our bases. Jake put them mid.
Worst team in the competition going to be Hawthorn. And second, or winning team, the team that's going to win the big old cup. Brisbane.
Brisbane, nice.
Yeah, they're a
I was
favourite
thinking
though. You
Brisbane.
got to go on underdog, Jake. You got to
Gotta go on underdog?
You got to go on underdog. You can't.
Pies.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, nice.
In September. All right, we happy with that?
We're happy.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
How crazy is it that Ed Sheeran fucked the grass at so
Oh,
many
yes.
Have to put that in there.
No one's talking about it.
Sheeran
these
guy.
days.
He got away with it. He just got away with it.
I saw Gene Simmons digging up at the 50-meter mark.
I've called Brisbane
Yeah.
and Pies.
If we had have lost,
But funny that the
it would have
roughie...
been Jake cursed it. Jake
Funny
cursed-
that Riley goes pick a roughie and I've gone Pies as well.
Yeah, why didn't we think they were going to win?
They were paying like $15 before a ball was bounced this year.
Yeah, it was that Geelong game that really instilled a lot of faith.
Yeah.
100%. So it's exciting to see who will be up and about.
And we got to remember, this was before we bought the Darcy Moore bobblehead.
Yeah,
Yes,
true.
true.
Yeah.
Maybe a Chad Warner bobblehead?
Oh,
We'll have to keep eyes.
we keep it away from the Nick Dacos one. It might hurt him.
There you go. So that's our 2023 predictions. We weren't terrible.
Nah.
All things considered, pretty good.
The Brownlow medal is probably our weakest area.
Yeah.
But to go, North finished on the bottom. You said they're going to win the flag, which seemed odd.
Did they finish? I thought they won their last game and they didn't finish at the bottom.
You might
West
be right.
Coast was
West
wooden
Coast
spoon,
finished on
yeah.
the bottom. Yeah.
Well, it should be.
What a season that is. West Coast finished on the bottom. Pies finished on the top with the flag.
Yeah.
That's how
That's
it always should
that's
have been.
Oh, it should be.
perfect catalogue. Just before we finish, I do
West Coast is suck.
I do find some real nice energies in the fact that we didn't play the first game of the year, but we won the first game of the season,
Yeah.
and we also won the last game of the season. I reckon there's something in there.
It's meant to be.
It's meant to be. Alrighty, boys, that just about brings us to the end of another episode of the MacPack podcast. But before we finish up, we'll finish this week like we do each and every week with our favourite weekly segment. It's time for our only weekly segment. It's time for our Everyday Hero, Junior Boy. Sending you a little blind Nick Dacos handball.
I was not expecting this one to be thrown my way.
Does this count for the tally?
Yeah, put it down.
Oh, man, I'll take it.
Tally him
What's
up,
the tally
him
looking
up.
like?
Riley's winning with 3.
Oh, huge.
Jake and I both have 2.
Okay.
Huge. All right. Well, obviously, we're Pies fans.
We are.
So it was a bit hard to not be supporting the Pies come September. But did you find that there was a lot of people supporting the Pies come September? Or not many?
Grand scheme of things, not many.
No.
People we know, lots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think is where the heroes come through, don't they?
I think it is.
A lot of people were on our backs, supporting the boys.
Yeah.
Take it away, Jackie. I don't know why you threw it. I don't know why you threw it at me.
Chalk it up to me then.
I've already it's in pen, buddy.
this,
Don't change.
this week's Everyday Hero has to go to those who aren't necessarily Pies fans, but have gone out of their way to flick us a message and show us a granular of support.
Yeah, it's like
During a very important time in my life.
Yeah, it's like people who support the team and it's like by association. It's almost like that's your team in-laws, you know?
Yeah.
You don't really
I
rate
got
'em.
so many text messages from so many people the moment the siren went on the last Saturday of September. It felt like I had won the Norm Smith medal. They were like, man, congratulations, soak it up. This is your day. Mate, I'm sitting in Q52, sinking cans
Level
and
4.
sobbing my tits off.
Thanks for the words of encouragement, buddy.
But I loved it. It was just so nice. It was so nice to see so many people message me. Even in the lead up to the game, obviously we saw Mace, we saw Marolo, we saw
Shout out Marilla.
Marolo's girlfriend Jamie, and they were all like, they're not Pies fans. Rui bleeds purple. I've seen it in the flesh. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's a medical condition.
Yeah. But he was getting around. He was wearing a Pies jersey that we've lent him months ago.
For
He
the
wore
Oh,
it.
that West Coast
He wore it to Melbourne. He didn't have tickets to the game or anything. He was just wearing it through Melbourne. We were at the
You
pub.
took it to a wedding.
Yeah, he took it across. He took it to Sydney.
he took it to the wedding.
Yeah.
He wore it at the wedding.
No,
I
you
don't
didn't
think he
wear
wore it
the
at the wedding.
It was like
Pathetic. It would match the black and white code.
You
Come
a
on,
pocket
Marilla.
square.
And then so we're at the pub. He's sitting. I don't even think I was wearing the jersey when we were at the pub.
Yeah.
He was like sleeveless.
I know. I never do that.
Perched with the jersey. I
Yes,
loved it.
the sleeveless footy jersey when you're not actually playing.
Yeah.
Bold move, and Marilla did it.
Yeah, but he's got the pipes. He's got
Yeah,
the
exactly,
pipe-
yeah,
he's
he's
got
got
the
that.
pipes to do it. No, it was absolutely fantastic. So thank you to everyone that got in contact. There's a lot of people who follow the MacPack as well who got in contact.
Yeah.
And they often do. They often show their support for the Collingwood side of things. And I do feel like that they support Collingwood because they support us.
Yeah, especially because supporting Collingwood, there's obviously like the stigma around it and the whole like anyone but Collingwood
Yeah.
shit. So like these people wouldn't usually be like
No, there's no reason to
Yeah.
naturally slide into the Collingwood.
like two of my mates. One of them goes for Freo, one of them goes for St Kilda. They both messaged me the day after, obviously, because they knew I was fucking living it up on the day. And it's like even that whenever their teams are playing, I always like message them.
yeah.
You know, good luck. Whatever.
Nah, that's sick.
Their
Adrian
teams suck.
Adrian Quinliani as well. Star. He was wearing the Pies kit.
Yeah.
And then after the game, we met up with Jamie and Andrew. And yeah, just a wild vibe. They were wearing the kit. Then we go to AIA.
One of my favourite moments is when we first saw Marolo on Swan Street when it was pumping and everyone was public drinking. He just made a beeline for Jake and was like so excited,
Yeah.
as if the siren had just gone.
Yeah.
And Andy was playing in full forward and Jake was playing in full back.
No, it was
Yeah.
elite. It was elite. And then he came to like the presentation afterwards.
the
which
cup
we spoke
ceremony.
They
about.
held the cup up.
And he's cheering. Like
to
we're
the
walking
fans.
down Swan Street and he's like leading the Collingwood chant with me. Just like stuff you don't need to do, but like you want to experience it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If we're not mates, I doubt that he's doing
Yeah,
the things
exactly,
that he's
yeah.
doing.
It also might play into the fact that Freo may never win one.
Oi, settle down.
Freo win,
Oh man, I'm all on
Oh,
purple.
yeah,
I'm bleeding
yeah.
purple as well.
All for Marolo.
I'm a Freo member, baby.
yeah,
I love those purple.
We're all going to
dogs.
need Marolo to send us Freo jerseys for the big day.
Yeah, dead set. But yeah, no, it was just fantastic. So this week's Everyday Hero is going to everyone that isn't naturally a Collingwood supporter who jumped on the bandwagon and supported the MacPack's involvement with the Collingwood Football Club and has sent us DMs, messages, and basically any amount of love over the last probably 6 months, let alone the last month, surrounding the Pies and their ability to go and win the mighty flag. Alrighty, boys, that brings us to the end of the MacPack podcast. Until we do this, did you jump at me?
No, it was like a
He's
like
coming at
jaunt.
me.
Oh, right. Because it synced up with when I shouted, and I thought you got fucking
I love when you do that, Jack.
shouted.
We never talked about fucking Kenny.
Just like I didn't.
When are we going to
Alright.
with Kenny?
I know. I wanted to see Ken, but
The whole time we're in Melbourne, Jake wanted to see his good friend Kenny.
Yeah.
Never got to see
Kenny
him.
and Tom, who we mentioned.
Oh,
on
yeah. We never got to see
No,
Kenny
we
and
didn't.
Tom.
It-
No.
the
The
timelines-
next time.
The timelines didn't work out. It was frustrating, but
It's a little inside one.
just don't get.
No
You're-
one will understand.
Yeah, including me. But anyway, it is
Just
what
a
it is.
me and Joe.
Yeah. Oh, actually, can I say one more thing?
The cool room.
Because we were talking about being in the fun room, which is obviously me and Riley's room. After we got back after the grand final, right? We're lying in bed together, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And then we're both lying there. I just turned around. Yeah.
No,
He
because
was
like
in me,
Joe rolled over and was like we're like having our cute little D&M before bed, and then
What are
we
you
were
guys
like,
chatting about?
I don't know, just like, wow, that was so much fun.
Daily
When are we
gratitudes.
gonna see Kenny? Blah blah blah. Daily gratitudes, and then
Close to Kenny.
and then we ended on like
Do you know who Kenny is?
no.
Yeah.
You've met him.
From cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then we ended on like a laugh, and it was just like anyway, night. So then we both rolled over. We tried to sleep for like 5-10 minutes, and then Joe rolled back over.
Yeah, and I just said, can you still hear the Collingwood chant in your head?
It was sensational.
Yes,
Yeah.
dude. I was like, literally, that's all I can
I
hear.
didn't think it would ever end.
It's just Collingwood.
Yeah, I
was
was much the
fine.
same.
It was like I was brainwashed. I just heard so much of it over like the last 48 hours that silence just was that.
See, I was
Yeah.
hearing it like throughout the week as well. Like we were walking through, must have been Saturday after the prelim, walking through Carlton. There was no one else on the street, and I turned to Taylor and said, "Can you hear the Collingwood chant, or is that just in my head still?"
Yeah,
She goes, "No one. We're in Carlton. Carlton are about to play their prelim.
Yeah.
Trust me. No, look
No
around.
one.
There's no one. No one's fucking cheering Collingwood at the
It was
moment.
so strange. I never really had that before.
When I first heard like the
'Cause
first,
Welcome to the biggest club in the land.
when you have a song stuck in your head, you're like, I'm thinking about the way the song goes. But this was like
it was just
rhythm
happening.
constantly.
it's rhythmic.
The only thing I would hear is that, or the the horns at the start of the song, the do 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 do, and then it starts the song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was happening out on the street because it had been happening. Like you walk through just like roads, random roads, and people were chanting it wherever you go in Melbourne. But it wasn't. It was in the brain.
No, it was unreal.
yeah,
It's
for
a-
days.
Yeah, it's so cool. It does. When we were there,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think we'll come back. Like, I just think this is the top of the mountain. But
Did you guys see
after
that?
reminiscing for an hour, if we make it again, we're a fair chance we're not going to wheel back over.
Did you guys see that the Collingwood faithful are now currently the second most leading most attendances to a
Home attendance
in
in,
the
the, world,
world.
for sports clubs.
and it's like soccer, AFL, soccer,
Yeah,
soccer.
that's wild.
Which is like insane because people would look at that list now and be like,
Who's
"What
what's
the fuck is
Collingwood?
AFL?"
Yeah. Nah, it's very exciting. It's sick. It's
Yeah.
cool to be a part of it. We've got 106,000 members, and mate, we could
Join
be,
the
we
army.
could be absolutely anything. That might be our plan before the season starts. This is always good.
Meet up with Kenny.
Let's see if we can get a flag. Let's see if we can get a pies bloke on the pod.
oh yeah.
See if we can.
Players.
We'll slide into every DM possible. See what we can get.
Yeah.
If you have any contacts at home,
Any from Perth?
there's a handful. Bobby Hill
Huge.
could be a snake. Imagine having Bobby Hill here.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Norm. Or your man Sheezel. There you go.
Or Kenny.
Boys, until we
Get
do
Kenny.
this time next week, stay safe, stay blessed, and always remember to.
Go give your mum a hug.
It's Jaffa now, but not forever.